Hey everyone, this is Nathan Williams with BlackIron79.com, and I'm back here with another hand history review for you guys. So today's hand was sent to me by Finnegan, and he has Ace-Jack offsuit in a 6-max cash game on PokerStars, 1 cent, 2 cent. So let's jump right into the action. So he comes in for the 3x raise, which is pretty typical in these games. You can make it 4x sometimes if some big fish are at the table. As I've talked about a lot before, but it's totally fine just coming for 3x as well. So it folds around to the small blind who makes the call. And actually, before we go any further in the hand, I'll just go right into the HUD stats that Finnegan gave me for this guy. Finnegan told me this guy is a super nit. He has, amazingly, in 6-max, he has a VPIP of 9, pre-flop raise of 3, and an aggression factor of just 1. So, guys, this is somebody who is just sitting around waiting for aces or kings, pretty much, and set mining, and that's pretty much all they're doing. If this is the kind of player where if they make any kind of bet or raise, I am running for the hills. Okay, so these are the kind of players that you will see, especially in 1 cent, 2 cent games on PokerStars. You'll still see these guys to this day. I'm going to give a general stereotype of this kind of player, of the results. They're typically not a winning player. They're usually break even at best, but often on the small losing side. I do not recommend playing this style of poker, this super net. I think you're just giving up tons and tons of value. By the way, once again, as always, I've got to mention, if you don't know what these HUD stats mean, these are just numbers you get from your poker database, from the hands you played. You can get these on your table if you want. There's a link in the description below. That'll tell you everything you need to know to get those numbers on your screen. So anyways, let's just go ahead with the hand here. So the big blind folds and we go to a flop. So it's a pretty good flop, obviously. We've got top 2. Let's see what villain 7 does. He goes ahead and checks. And Finnegan comes out for the around 70% of the pot bet. I really like his sizing. I love betting here. It's perfect. I have nothing else to say. It's perfect. Awesome. So villain 7 calls, and we go to a turn. Turn is the 8 of clubs. Doesn't really change anything too much. We're just in one of those value bet sort of situations where we want to try to get value. I mean, this is the kind of player who, remember, this is a 9-3-1. This is the kind of player that could easily have ace-king or ace-queen here. I actually didn't get the 3-bet on this kind of player, but typically these are the kind of players that definitely with a hand like ace-queen, they'll just call pre-flop. So definitely could be in his range. We definitely obviously want to value bet against that hand. So villain 7 does check again, and Finnegan bets 28 cents this time, around 75% of pot. Once again, perfect in my opinion. I have nothing else to say. I think Finnegan has played this hand outstanding. I have nothing else to say. It's perfect textbook, exactly how I would play it, 100%. So villain 7 makes the call, and we go to a river. River is sort of interesting. It completes the backdoor club flush draw. I think it's a little bit unlikely he hit that. I'm not really sure what combos. I mean, maybe a king-queen of clubs, possibly. Other than that, I mean, I don't think the 9 should really help him in any way. I don't think he should have any straights here, so it's really difficult to be concerned at this point. He does check again, and Finnegan decides to come out for the just over half pot value bet on the river here. And once again, I'm going to say this is the perfect bet sizing. We don't want to bomb it here. I want to try to get some calls, definitely out of ace-queen and stuff, ace-king, obviously. I don't want to scare him out or anything with a big bet sizing. I think that a super nit like this, if we bet like 75 cents here or something, you might make a super nitty laydown with his ace-queen, ace-king or something. So absolutely love the bet sizing here, and here's the interesting point in the hand. Because the nits, is that base, or almost, no, it's not all in, but he makes the very large raise on the river. Oh boy. So as we said off the top, this hand really is just all about player type for me. At the micro, well, look, I've said this in the past many times. I said it in Crushing the Micro Stakes. I say it on my blog all the time. At the micros, you can take this to the bank. The turn raise is almost always the nuts. The river raise is always the nuts. unless you're playing against some super maniac, some guy who's 12 beers in, losing his mind, maybe some high stakes player blowing off steam. You'll see those sometimes at the micros. They can be screwing around, but for 95% of players at the micros, when they raise the river, they got the nuts. They're beating two pair. 100% they're beating two pair. And guys, we need to remember, we're up against a super nit here. This is the kind of player who's afraid of his own shadow. There's no way on earth that he's raising here ever, in my opinion, with less than two pair. He always has us beat here. So I'm going to totally agree with Finnegan's decision to fold on the river here. I think that he played the hand perfectly at every single stage of the hand. And I really have nothing else to add. This is a textbook example of value betting and bet folding and just understanding when you're beat. You know, on the river, like I said, the river raises are almost always the nuts at the micros. And when you're up against this player type, I mean, I'd almost, you know, I'd bet the farm. This guy has it basically every single time. So that's about all I can say on this hand, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below there, whether you agree, disagree. And as always, if you guys enjoy watching microstakes hand history reviews like this, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel, because I'm putting out these videos every single week. I'm going to try to mix in some concept videos as well in the coming weeks. Show you guys like board textures, for instance, that I'll c-bet on. Try to get in some more stuff, not just always hand history reviews. But, of course, I've got so many hand history reviews to get to still. So I'll get to those too. And lastly, make sure you download a copy of my free poker cheat sheet. It's called Massive Profit at the Micros. It's the top link in the description below, and that'll give you my complete strategy on how I crush these stakes. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. This has been Nathan Williams with BlackRain79.com.